Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a Legacy video every Friday. Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Legacy video and playing Doomsday today. So I've been itching for a little bit of Doomsday lately, and I was like last time out I played a turbo list with like 4 personal tutor or 3, I can't remember. Um, and I get the feeling that that's what y'all prefer me to play, or maybe just like prefer to play yourselves. I don't know. That whenever I release a turbo video, it always gets like above average ratings, which is awesome. And I will definitely be recording some more of those at some point. But today I am trying to hit the middle ground. So this list is fast. I think the 3 copies of the One Ring can somewhat be swapped out for one like a personal tutor in a sort of theoretical sense, in that this is business and personal tutor is also business. But personal tutor is also pitches to force, but it also only really like is a functional Doomsday with a like suspend counter on it kind of thing. I guess that's not true. That was a bad analogy, but I'm sure you get what I mean. So um, I feel like this list here is pretty fast. So I have 5 rituals with 4 dark ritual, 1 cabal ritual. I have 3 petals, and I have 3 cyclers, and that's like the number of cyclers is usually my sort of measurement of or proxy for how fast the deck is trying to go. But then we're also playing the 4 copies of Psychic Frog. You'll notice I am not playing Tameo. I'm not playing Removal in the main deck. Psychic Frog against a non-trivial portion of decks, if you go like turn 1 Petal land Psychic Frog, especially if you can back it up with Force and Daze, is just like almost a game ending or a game winning play. And it pitches to Force, it can draw us into the pile, and it just makes our opponent have to respect other things than just pure like spell based interaction on the stack. I'm playing a single copy of Unearth because I like how it complements Consider and lets us play around Disruptor Flute, and probably that's it right now. And I think maybe that is a little bit like of an old school kind of tech by now. I'm not sure if it's needed, but I kind of like it. It brings back a frog that gets countered. That's also kind of non-trivial. Um, and the sideboard then lets us pivot onto stuff that beats like other like the tempo decks basically, and we have 2 cages, which I think is really helpful versus Reanimator. I got Shelter Isle and Emrakul as things to do versus control, but also as a way like Emrakul plus these cards here completely changes the dynamic versus Painter, which is a deck I kind of keep expecting to face, but then I don't end up facing it a lot. So we'll see. Um, Frog is, in my opinion, not very good versus Eldrazi, and that worries me a little bit. That like once I board out a Frog, I'll probably bring in like a Brazen Borrower, but that kind of makes my blue count a little bit suspicious. But the reason I don't like Frog against Eldrazi is like if you power it out with a Petal, and then they can just like remove it with their if you're on the draw, for instance, then they can just untap and kill it with a command, and then that's a pretty bad exchange for you. And also just like any game that tries to go long versus Eldrazi, I think is going to be a losing game for most decks in Legacy. The power of Myco spawn, what's it called? The Myco spawn. There's another word. I can't remember it, but like the creature that when you cast it, you get to tutor up a land, and if you kick it, you get to exile a land. Like there isn't a deck right now, I think, or at least not a mainstream deck that can go toe to toe with that deck for 5+ turns, because they just end up completely outgrinding you if they don't kill you beforehand. So I don't want to bring in creatures versus Eldrazi. I think I probably just board out some or all of the frogs, bring in a Brazen Borrower or maybe a couple of Dismembers, and call it a day. So yeah, I mean, I feel this or a similar version of Doomsday is a pretty good place to be at in Legacy right now, which is cool. So let's go see how it goes in the league. I'm gonna keep this. It's almost the One Ring with a lot of counter back up, so that's pretty sweet. I'm gonna probably play out Petal and just pass here. I mean, that's mostly because I don't want Petal to die to a Vexing Bauble, but then again, the rest of my hand kind of means I probably have to counter a Vexing Bauble, if that is indeed what's in our future. Meanwhile, opponent goes basic forest for Dried Arbor, which I'm not gonna daze because I don't want to fall behind here. I want to fetch Undercity Sewers and hit a land and be able to cast the One Ring. Alternatively, I will take a cantrip, but there is a land. Sweet. And the good thing about... No, I was going to say the good thing about this is we don't lose the Petal, but we do lose the Petal, so we don't have Doomsday mana next turn. Alright, let's see. Big pause here. I would love a... Well, I mean, a Force of Will just gets dazed here. I would love that. But Force into Dried Arbor doesn't seem like the Force of Will type of thing to be happening. Okay, we draw Thoughtseize and we pass. So things I'm most concerned about are things that make their spells uncounterable. So like an Allosaur Shepherd or a Delighted Halfling. Shepherd would be the worst. Okay, so this is Breakfast, I would guess. Nadu Winged Poo. Sorry, Nadu. They force... Do I daze and go back to like no lands? I think I do. So, I mean, if they have another force, then I can't do anything, but hey. They didn't. So we untap with the ring. That is a very sweet feeling here. I imagine there's a blue card in the top 3 cards here. I would hope so anyways. So that we can pair this Force of Will. And we're facing like almost no pressure, so... And oh, there's Doomsday. How about that? Well, I mean, that's not a blue card. So our guards are down here, but I do think I want to just Thoughtseize and make sure I don't, like... If their last 2 cards involve Cephalid Illusionist and Nomads... Okay. It did involve Nomads, but if it was like Nomads plus a land, they could then top deck the Illusionist and win. Alright, so whatever they draw next turn, they can't Force of Will us, so that's good. So the landing strip is pretty clear here. And we move into combat. And if they swing here, that means they can't hard cast Endurance, if that was the card they drew. So, like, my biggest concern here would be something like a Spell Pierce. Oh, I would have loved a blue card there, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I'm going to make my land drop here, and then I'm going to put Doomsday on the stack. And that just resolves. So, alright, we can draw 3 with the ring. So let's see here. So we want to draw probably... We have the Unearth, so that can like get Thassa, but if they were to randomly play something like what would that have to be? Main deck Fairy Macabre? That's not going to be a thing they play. Alright, so let's see. We would want another Force of Will probably. And then maybe like the last... We know they have the Plow, so... how would this work? So, Ring draws us Consider, Force, and Edge. And then we cast Consider with our remaining mana that bins Thassa and draws us the Petal. Yeah, that seems good. So Petal on the bottom, then Thassa, and then these. I guess the Consider was not needed. Yeah, that was punt. That could have been a daze. Alright. So we consider ourselves. That goes into the graveyard, and we draw a Petal. And we cast this Unearth targeting Thassa. And that's a concession. Cool. So what do we want for this matchup? It's unclear to me if they saw the if they like looked through the exile zone and saw the frogs, but I think it's pretty common that Doomsday decks are playing frog right now. So I wonder if I'm supposed to just try and be fast, or if I'm supposed to be like have creature removal and stuff. Um, they are Swords to Plowshares deck. I would prefer to like blank the removal. Um, I kind of like Sheldog Isle Emrakul. Like if I can resolve an early Doomsday, then having that as something that beats endurance is pretty sweet. Um, so maybe we just board really lightly here. Do we keep in some of the frogs? I think I board out the LED and probably the Unearth. I don't hate having Consider in because it can kind of speed through, like it can, in quotation marks, draw 2 for 1 mana, like get two cards deeper. Maybe like having a little bit of removal is okay. We can like have Long Goodbye here. That's a nice card. And like maybe a Fatal Push in lieu of like one of the frogs. I don't know. Let's try this. I need to beat off some rust here. I haven't been playing Doomsday for a while, not this type of Doomsday. Anyways, this hand seems good. Let's keep it. Delighted Halfling. Okay. So I'm gonna Fatal Push that Halfling with Days back up here because I think, first of all, like my Days that's gonna make my Days better. If I don't have to use it right now, and Halfling will also invalidate the Days. Also, them leading on Forest here might mean that their mana isn't the greatest. They are a 3-colored deck, so they have no white mana right now. There's a Ponder. Okay. So best draw here is Dark Ritual, and it's not even close. If I were to draw Dark Ritual here, I could even like play Sheldog Isle. Okay, no Dark Ritual. I guess I'm gonna lead off. I'm gonna play a fetch land here. Lead off with the Brainstorm. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid. Let's put back one of the copies of Doomsday and the basic island here. And let's cast the Thoughtseize. And I'll probably Days of Veil of Summer. Okay. So we have the Force of Negation covered right now. So I'm actually tempted to take the Green Sun. Them having 2, like if they only had 1 Brainstorm, I would take that Brainstorm. Tell you what, I'm gonna take the Force of Negation and I'm gonna make them have to think about like brainstorming to find another force rather than like deploying Green Sun or whatever. We can also like daze the Green Sun if we feel like it. But I'm guessing they're gonna be brainstorming this turn. Guess not. They found a 3-drop they liked, or this is Green Sun. Green Sun's for 2, so what does that get? That can get what's its face? That can get Collector Roof, which doesn't really matter with the cards I have in my hand right now, but like could potentially harm us. But I think I'm gonna let that happen. I don't know that there's a 2-drop with green mana in it that really stops what I'm trying to do here. It makes sense. They saw like the One Ring did a lot of work for us last game. I think honestly I just go for Doomsday here. So I'll drop to 7. I have to Force of Will. Oh, they found a Force of Will. So let's see here. I dropped to 7 after this. Then I'm at 5 from the Collector Roof. 3 from the Street Wraith, I can find another, like, I can put a Thoughtseize in there. Yeah. I think I just... Is, like, me having an extra land going to be worth it? Also, let's just... Hang on. If I have to fetch, that's another life point. So that's 6, 4, 2, dead from Thoughtseize. So I can't fetch here. I think I'm probably just going to Force of Will, actually, to keep my land drop. Alright, so I want Thoughtseize. Oh, maybe I'm gonna be... No, I should still be fine with regards to cards in the deck. But then again, we can like add a second Thassa if we need to. But so let's see here. I draw... Let's say I draw Thoughtseize, then I cast Thoughtseize. Then I cycle Street Wraith into Edge of Autumn. I cycle Edge of Autumn into Thassa. And then I need one more card in the deck. I suppose... Is there a world where I don't Street Wraith next turn and I would want to be able to fetch with this Flooded Strand? I could put an island in there. Yeah, let's try that. I don't think that's going to come up, but it might. Alright, so island on the bottom, then the 2 oracles, and then we want Thoughtseize on top, because if they hit an endurance, like if they either draw it or brainstorm into it and a green card, then we want to Thoughtseize first, because that only, like, that puts 1 extra card in our graveyard, like from our graveyard into the deck, as opposed if I start like cycling, the graveyard is going to be a lot flusher. So like, it would be annoying if they surgical extract right now, but not unbeatable. It kind of probably means I have to then Street Wraith right away to get the Thoughtseize at least, to minimize the, like, quote unquote dead draws. I guess I want the Thoughtseize next turn anyways, but yeah. It's funny, like, the margins are so thin here. Like, if they were to, like, suddenly randomly have a Wasteland, that would be, like, pretty catastrophic. Alright, so if nothing else happens here, and it doesn't appear to be, I'm going to cast this Thoughtseize, and that pretty much means I am selling the game on this turn. Like, we have to now win, because I'm going to be... Like, if I also want to cycle Street Wraith, I won't be able to do that. So let's see here. Like, I don't want to see Veil here. That's what I mostly don't want to see. I also don't want to see double Swords to Plowshares. Okay. What a shock. Consign a Memory. The savior of all blue decks. And we cycle the 2 cyclers, and opponent concedes. Sweet. Off to winning start. Let's go for round number 2. Okay, on the draw for round number 2, let's keep this hand. Don't want to get turn 1 anything here, but this hand is pretty fine other than that. City of Traders, don't chalice. Don't chalice, don't do it. Okay, Grim Monolith. Can still go wrong here. They can, like, if they have a key, we can go, they can have like 4 mana on turn 1, and they do. So what is this, Ring, or... Wow. What is it? What is it? Karn would also be pretty scary. Mystic Forge, also scary, but not as scary. Force of Will. Well, day late and $1 short, right? Okay. The Force of Will is nice, though. Still, I'm not going to complain. So they use the Forge. They can untap it and use it again if they want to. But right now they use a key to... They have another key. Would this be worth countering? Probably not. But, I mean, this does mean they get to just exile away shit here. This is 6 mana. 2 cards in hand plus whatever is on top. 1 ring. Okay, I mean, I'm going to counter that. We'll see if they are able to do more stuff here. 2 mana. Kozilek's Command. They want to scry X. But X is 0, so they don't get to scry. They do get to, like... Oh, they also... This is just like cycle? They don't get any things? Okay, cool. Alright. Let's draw some business. That was a land, so not really business. Damn. Yeah, this is not good. This is really not good. I guess I don't think Days is gonna do anything here, but I also, I guess, don't really think Thassa's Oracle is gonna do much. So I think I'm gonna Thoughtseize right now. It feels bad because I would really like to get the Surveil, but I do think let's take this Kozilek's command and leave them with just some mana. They exile a land that was on top of their deck. Another key. Okay. That was from the top of their deck. Lotus Petal as well. That was the Grim Monolith. Can they lattice me this turn? Fleshraker. Okay. That also doesn't seem ideal. And because of Karn, I don't really think I have a way out of this. Because I need Petals or LED to be able to win on the same turn. So yeah, I'm just going to concede here. Alright. Mystic Forge. Deck doing Mystic Forge things. Does this work against Mystic Forge? Creatures on cards and graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. That should work, right? That's being cast from on top of the deck. Not sure if it's worth it, though. Shieldred seems okay, but not amazing. But probably better than Frog. I think I just want this. Yeah, let's submit. How do we feel about this? I think I'm going to keep. This doesn't seem like a hand I can really afford to throw away. So it goes turn 2 Frog. Which means I probably want to end of turn brainstorm here, or I might need to just brainstorm in response to whatever nasty thing they put on the stack. I think I'll brainstorm regardless. Vexing Bauble. Well, it shuts off all of my counter magic and my petals and stuff. So I'm going to brainstorm right now because I'm going to be doing that anyways. Do I Force of Will this? So I need the 3 lands to be able to put Shieldred on the stack later. So I'm going to put back, I think, 1 Frog, 1 land. I'll redraw the land, and I'll Force of Will pitch Thassa's Oracle here. Let's cast the Frog. So unfortunately, no, not unfortunately. If we get the turn with the cards that are in our hand, we can kill or cast Shieldred next turn. Not sure if she'll be able to race these giant things. Alright, Pithing Needle. Hope you don't name Polluted Delta. That would be a pretty clutch name. Psychic Frog, sure. Let's draw a card. Alright, Shieldred's in. Not sure how much that is going to mean here, but we'll see. There's Ancient Tomb. This still only taps for 1, right? So like if they make a construct, then the construct on the face of it is a what? It's a 2/2, right? Unfortunately, that needle is pretty good here. I think Frog is just going to be on blocking duty, or it's just going to like run straight into the dagger here. Okay. So I'm gonna Thoughtseize them. Does Glaring Fleshraker deal damage to each opponent? Okay. And Ring. So what happens if they play the Ring? They play the Ring, they become invulnerable, but then they draw and take 2, and then they untap, take 1. If they draw 2 more, they take 4. They're going to run out of life points pretty fast. And then there's Kozilek's Command. Exile target creature, so they would need 6 mana to exile Sheoldred. So they have 2, 3, 4. They have that next turn, so I think I have to take the Kozilek's command. Wait, does Fleshraker gain them any life? Where is it? Kozilek's command. Fleshraker, where are you? No, it's not a drain. I think I just play out this frog. It's not doing anything in my hand. Obviously, watch me draw Force of Will, but... And they take 2 to make a friend. They're at 9. Are they going down to 7? And they're just making friends here. If they can find something that, like, with this search trigger from Saga, if they can find something that gets rid of Sheoldred, or, like, Shadow Spear to gain some life, then that's pretty good. But that didn't happen. So now they can play Ring, or they can play Fleshraker, I guess. There's Ring. This should negate the invulnerability. You gain protection from everything, but Sheoldred doesn't target, doesn't deal damage, so... Yeah, it's not invulnerable, it's protection. So if they attack here, I block with a frog, obviously. And then, like, my best draw is probably, like, my own Ring, and after that it's probably Brainstorm. Alright, let's surveil. Daze, no thank you. Doomsday, huh? So that's interesting. I don't think I can afford to Doomsday because they have the Fleshraker. So I think I just pass here. They haven't drawn with Ring. Wonder if they plan to. So they're at 5. There's Fleshraker. And they're just making the biggest possible constructs here. Alright, they swing for 7. I can't activate Frog to fly over and get my draw. So I think I am supposed to just block here. So I still think, like, cantrips... I'm not sure a cantrip is going to do it. But maybe, like, we'll see. Damn, that was a brainstorm. So we're dead. Alright, GG's. Okay, on the draw for round number 3. And with a keepable hand, but again, like, unprotected. The polluted Delta Mirror. Ooh, how about that? Okay, I'm gonna fetch Basic Island here and cast a Ponder. Looking for Daze or Force of Will. Crazy as it sounds, I'm actually gonna, like, shuffle these. So 1 ring, consider, and another land. We draw another Ponder. So, like, if this is just Entomb... Okay, it wasn't. No fetch for Undersea Sewers either. Interesting. What are we up against? Tropical Island. This could be Storm. Interesting. Scrubland. There's a Psychic Frog. Okay. Let's cast a Brainstorm. Give them a chance to Daze. They saw me shuffle on the Ponder. It wouldn't be unreasonable for them to suspect that I'm, like, digging for lands. Alright. Since I have another Underground Sea here, I am just going to fetch the old Underground Sea. Come on with some interaction, please. Huh. Well, what are the odds that they're going to be tapping out next turn? Maybe. I think I'm gonna take the Daze and draw the LED. Maybe drawing the Frog would have been better, but, like, we're sort of behind on the Frog shenanigans here. And, like, Cycler plus LED in hand post Doomsday is pretty nice. It can, like, help us play around Daze from them. There's a Wasteland. Okay. Sure. Please play second Frog. No discard, just the draw. Tap out, tap out, tap out, tap out, tap out. You know you want to. Well, that's a ponder, so that probably means they're not tapping out, which is a bummer. And I'm playing in fear right now because, I could have gone for it. I even had the same turn win like a couple of turns ago. They don't shuffle. Okay. So I'm going to lead on a ponder here. I want to give them another chance to use a daze. No way, no how. And again, we just pass here. I think it's worth it being patient in this situation. It's certainly not impossible to get them to commit their mana, I think. All right, they move into combat. Reasonable. They draw another card. Lucky. 3 mana. Can I get... Oh, it's another frog. Ribbit. Okay, that's probably not good. It's running away from us here. We need like force of will or... Yeah, I think I'm gonna... Okay, I'm gonna try something a little bit risky here. I'm gonna tap the Underground Sea for a Dark Ritual. And if they're really worried... Like, it's pretty obvious we're a combo deck. They might worry that what I have in my hand is like one discard spell and a bunch of rituals. And if they then use like force of will on this, that would be great. But if they don't, then I might just cast a brainstorm after this ritual. It's a very long pause here. Okay, that resolved. Bummer. Let's cast a brainstorm. Come on, Thoughtseize or force of will, please. We still haven't made our land drop. No luck. All right, let's put back brainstorm and let's put back brainstorm and petal. And so we can play a frog, which they shouldn't counter here, right? They're like so far ahead on that metric. How does this leave us? They're 14 cards in. They have pondered once. Do we think they have force of will? They could also have double days. That would actually be pretty annoying. Okay, I'm gonna just play out my things here. Double days gets me. All right, let's try this out. They have the force, right? They have to have the force. And I don't really have a recourse. So this is just me like... This is interesting though. Scrubland and Tropical Island. So I'm not sure this is some kind of like Esper or Dark Bant thingamajig. I don't know. Well, I mean, if they have a force of will, they are taking their sweet time thinking about things here. And they had it, but they needed to take a minute to think about it. Sorry, I'm just bitter. Okay, so that was not great. And they have force of negation in the main deck. That's interesting. An Uro, okay, and they just, yeah, plow. Never didn't have anything. I think I'm just dead. But let's see. They still refuse to like commit cards into this frog, it appears. So like a tempo deck that has white is really what I don't want to face because like all of my creatures are kind of like their weakness is Swords to Plowshares. And we just show them frogs. So this is like not really what we want here. Let's cycle Street Wraith and cast the Brainstorm. Yeah, I'm just gonna pack it up here. I'm Brainstorm locked. Could shuffle at the cost of a petal to cast Edge of Autumn, but I'm not gonna do that. They've already drawn like, I don't know, 4 or 5 extra cards. Okay, so this is a white mid-range / tempo deck. So where does that, like, what does that tell us? They have Wasteland, but not unsure how many. If I start bringing in creatures, I don't think it's going to end well for me. I honestly just... This feels pretty terrible. Shelldog Emrakul, not great when they are a Wasteland deck. Do we want some removal spells maybe? And and then just let them have a lot of creature removal themselves and nothing to point it at. I think I like that. It does mean that we're down to the old dreaded 18 blue cards, so that's not amazing. All right, let's see if we can do better here. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm supposed to. I think I would usually board out Lines of Diamond versus these types of decks, but it might come in handy. All right, opponent mulligan to 5. I'm gonna play Sewers here. Would love to find a Force or a Daze. I would also not be unhappy with like Dark Ritual or Thoughtseize. And I suppose a cantrip would also be okay. Okay, let's take the Thoughtseize. So I think I'm gonna untap and I'll draw the Thoughtseize. I'll play my Misty and then I'll probably cast Consider before doing anything else. Argument could be made to like Thoughtseize first, I suppose, to better inform the Consider. So maybe that's the way to go. But I think also like there is a world where I would like to keep save the Thoughtseize until the same turn that I'm putting Doomsday on the stack. Opponent does not shuffle. Okay, let's I think I just talked myself into Thoughtseizing first. Let's Thoughtseize. Okay, so I'm gonna take the Force of Negation, consign a memory. We can deal with I would love to just hit a Dark Ritual right here. Ponder. I think I put that in the graveyard. And I'll pass. Okay, so I could imagine them like just putting Frog into play right now. Like that was the card they hit on top. And that would actually be fine because then we know what's up. There's black mana. Yay, I read it correctly. So Dark Ritual here, I just win. Street Wraith, I also just win. Hey, Lines of Diamond, you're so great. I should never cut you. Okay, cool. Okay, so we cycle the Street Wraith into, I suppose, another Street Wraith, into Edge of Autumn, into the Consider, maybe. And we can consider away Thassa's Oracle and draw a Thassa's Oracle. It doesn't really matter because we know the hand. So let's just do this. So I wonder if I'm supposed to, for the third game, like board completely out of Doomsday and into like Dimir midrange with the One Rings. I actually don't think I would hate that. Alright, so we sack LED for blue. Sack these cyclers. Consider into the graveyard. And boom. I think I don't hate that. I think I'm actually going to do that because if they're looking through my exile zone, they'll see no creatures at all right now. And yeah, I think that's kind of decent. I'm not sure if like the Grafdigger's cages are going to be worth anything because they did show us Uro. And Uro kind of messes up this plan completely because he like gains them so much life. But let's see how much we feel good about like throwing away here. Let's say the Doomsdays, the Cabal Ritual, the Thassa's Oracles, the LED. How about the Petals? Petals are still pretty good for Ring and Shouldered and stuff. The Street Wraiths kind of mean that like I have a lot of creatures, but they are also like the worst creatures. Is that a reasonable sort of swap? And I don't think like we're gonna bring in the cages. We don't know how many Uros they play, but I would doubt if it was like 4. And that might even be a card that they cut versus combo decks. Yeah, let's try this. I'll keep the Thoughtseize into frogs for a couple of turns kind of play. Opponent also kept 7. They did like mulligan to 5 in the last game, so we shouldn't take too much heart from that win. Almost hope they have Deafening Silence here. Tamio, okay. I don't mind that Force of Will, I'm not gonna lie. Let's Thoughtseize. Don't show me removal. Also, don't show me fucking Uro when I just talked about this. Alright, let's get rid of the frog. You attack, you get a clue. I would love to draw a shoulder right now. I would also really like to draw the One Ring. Fatal Push. Alright, I'm gonna play out a frog. Oh, what's this? Is this Daze? Oh, they're just eating the clue. Yeah. Okay, my frog is in after much deliberation from the opponent. So they can like get Uro into play, or not into play, but like cycle Uro into the graveyard and gain some life, and that's mildly annoying. Okay, that was a land we didn't know about. There is Uro, the old boy. So the question is this Tamio worth it for me to discard 2 cards and fly my frog and block her? Oh, they're not attacking. Okay, in that case, I think I just Fatal Push her. Let's Fatal Push Tamio. A Force of Will. I think I Force of Will back what was pitched. It was the Lorien. Okay, so their hand is polluted delta plus something. Okay, I'm going to attack here. I'm not going to pump the frog. There's a petal. So they right now they but they have delta, so they can get Uro into play here next turn. I think I'm gonna brainstorm. That was not amazing. Let's put back Dark Ritual and Frog. There's a delta we knew about. So here comes Uro. And I think I'll probably end up at some point having to Fatal Push Mr. Uro. They don't put in a land, so their hand is 3 spells. And they have used 1 force. I would really love for them not to like Force of Will this Fatal Push. I am gonna Fatal Push off Petal because I need Revolt. This is the easiest counter if they have it. They didn't have it. Okay, let's attack with Frog. We draw Dark Ritual, which is not great, but then we're sort of through it. And then we play second Frog. They can sign to memory the draw trigger. That's really interesting. I mean, you could argue that I'm not going to get anything out of Daze later on, but I think this is still a card we've gained. I have second Frog. And because I guess they're also doing that because they want to fill up their graveyard for Uro. I get that. There's a world where we get to use this Daze on the Uro if they get kind of desperate. Oh, is this Lauren revealed? I would love that. Hamana, Hamana, Hamana. Yes. Alright. Well, that's your turn. Now I get to, get 2 frog triggers. And I still don't think I, start discarding here. I have bigger things to use these cards for. Let's, another Dark Ritual. End up a rainstorm. Let's cast this Consider and see if we can like spike something. Yes, please. Yes, frickin' please. Okay, so they found another Uro. That's going to gain them some life, which is going to be problematic. But they still need like 2 more cards in the graveyard to be able to cast it. And they found a frog of their own. I'm going to draw a couple of cards here. Okay. I'm going to play out a land and cast a Brainstorm. Okay, let's get rid of a couple of these lands. Keep the Force blue card. And let's fetch. We could fetch Undercity Sewers here. Get the Surveil. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, that only really cost us if we were to draw like a cantrip or another frog. We can put this into the graveyard. Okay, and I'm going to attack with both frogs here. And it looks like they're not interested in blocking. There's a Thoughtseize. And another. I did find another frog. Interesting. So I don't think I Thoughtseize them here because that gives them a card in the graveyard, and it also, like, my life total might end up like mattering here. So they attack me. They can just dump cards here and like get to bring Uro back, but deal me more damage. Doesn't seem like that's what they want to do. Like, finding Shieldred here would be really great. I also, right now, the way this game is sort of developing, I am kind of regretting not leaving in 1 Thassa's Oracle, because with this ring, and especially if I find Shieldred, I can like really draw like all of my deck in a couple of turns. Okay, so they can bring back Uro here. The question is, do we Force of Will it? And I think the answer is yes. Because we don't want them gaining the life. We don't want Uro in play. They have 1 card, like 3 cards in hand though, so they could easily have found another Force of Will. The most scary thing would probably be Veil of Summer. Yeah, and looks like they're doing something. Ugh, Veil of Summer. Get fucked. Okay, there you have Uro. Their clock is also criminally low here. Let's draw 3 cards. There is a lot of good cards right there. So do I just like cast Shieldred here through the cavern? No, I think I'm gonna long goodbye the Uro, and then I'm going to attack with both frogs, I think, and then play my 3rd frog. Maybe I only attack with 1 frog. Yeah, let's do that. Get the snow-covered island. Play a frog. Oh no, what did I do? I was supposed to keep that because it was my blue card. Damn. Okay, So I think that means I'm going to Thoughtseize you, because if you have something like really scary over there, and like our life total we can regain next turn with the Shieldred. Yeah, let's get rid of the Leyline Binding, huh? So I'm gonna take 3 from my ring next turn, and so I'm at a functional 5. And if I resolve Shieldred and draw 4, then I'm at a functional 13. But we have to be mindful of that dress down. Like, if they use that to counteract Shieldred. Okay, so like I have definitely I have had people comment to me that they were really annoyed that I played slowly. And I've certainly done that, and I've certainly not done it because I wanted to play slowly, but I've done it because I was playing Magic Online when I like was also doing other things. And, you know, that's something you can do, and no one can tell you that that's sort of illegal to do. Obviously it's not, but it is. I can understand it can be frustrating. And I've been a little bit frustrated at the pace of play by my opponent. But I think honestly, the way things are happening right now, I think it's not because they're doing something else. I think it's because they're having like, I don't know, computer issues or latency issues or something, because it doesn't really make sense. Okay, so they're not attacking here. They're just passing. Yeah, they have spent so much time. I think we're almost at a point where I'm not gonna like lose on that account. Okay, let's name Phyrexian. And I mean, I can definitely lose right now because like my ring is being a little bit of a you know, naughty boy. So Shouldred is on the stack. They might want to, like, if they don't have a removal spell, if that wasn't the last thing they like the fourth card in their hand, they might want to just dress down. So I'm gonna attack with 2 frogs because I want the draw, and I want to make them have to decide if they want to like be discarding cards with their own frog. To like, they have the card advantage right now, but I can obviously draw 4 cards with ring. But I don't want to do that if there's a dress down in play. Okay, dress down is on the stack. I'm going to draw with ring, and hopefully. Oh no, that's so sick. Okay, they found another binding. Wow. Okay. So now I think I have to hit rituals and another ring. I guess I'm not dead to the ring right now. Yeah, I'm not dead. I'm gonna be at 1 life though, so we can't force of will anymore. Okay, they block the frog, and I think I cast a ponder here. They can force of negation that if they want to. There's a fatal push. Fatal push is not bad. Yeah, let's take the fatal push. Wow, I got there by the second leyline binding. Wow, brutal. So they played Delta, so we know a couple of cards in their hand. I am about to go to 1 life here, and we will fatal push this frog. And if they want to cast Force of Negation here, that would actually be really nice. I don't expect them to. Okay, so frog is dead. What's my plan here? Let's start off, I suppose, by drawing 3 cards. The issue is I can't really force of will. I can't counter this force of negation, and I can't Thoughtseize it. So I pretty much need to hit like Shouldred. I think the second Shouldred. And I do get a lot of looks at her because I also get to draw 5 cards with ring. There's Dismember. That's not great. There's Daze. Okay. So what happens here? If I think I just have to draw 5 here, right? There is Shouldred, so that's kind of good. Okay, yeah, that's actually pretty good, I think. Unless they have like another removal spell for her, because what I can do is I can then cast a Ponder, and then immediately I can then Force of Will again. But if they have another binding here, or like if they want to Force of Negation this, that's fine. Okay, so that's Force of Negationed. So we pass. And if they can like do something naughty here. Okay, let's just discard some of these fetch lands. And like the Dismember, one of those. So please no removal spell and no dress down. Oof. Ponder, that's a lot of look at removal. I don't know how much is in the deck. They're also like, they're on so little time. Like, they do not shuffle. No! What does that mean? They're passing? Okay. Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna draw with the ring in response, and then I have Force of Will on the hard cast if they have removal for Shieldred or a Dress Down that they for some reason didn't want to use yet. So this draw is gonna gain me 10 life. I'm at 11, then I take 5 from the ring. And I'll probably end up decking myself before I can kill them. Oh no, that's not true because I have the frogs and I just sort of like dump massively into them. I also went to discard last turn. What the fuck? Like when I could have just discarded to the ring. Alright, they started tapping, but then they ran out of time. So I won the game. But I think I would have won on this turn because of I found the shoulder. Yeah, alright. Wow. GG's opponent. I am on the draw rather, and I'm gonna keep this hand that has like a turn. Right now, it's just a turn 3, the One Ring, and I have Force of Will. Opponent mulligans to 6, and it's the Delta Mirror Ponder. Okay, I cannot say how happy I am that Grief is gone. It feels like there is just so little discard, and it makes the. I really do think it makes the Reanimator blue, like the Mirror Frog Reanimator deck, like a lot less scary. How about a blue card? No blue card, but that means we get to speed up the One Ring. So that's nice and exciting. But yeah, like the fact that like back when Grief was legal, the play of like tapping out to reanimate Atraxa on turn 2 and then like griefing you over the top of that with like having also found Force of Will just felt horrendous. Okay, and this looks like it's either a Frog Reanimator or just Demir Tempo. So how about a blue card? Okay, that's not a blue card. Yeah, I am. I'm not gonna play into the days here, so I'm gonna pass. They're also not doing much, and they might be playing around days with the with the reanimate on the troll. So like, if they, oh what's this? Oh, there is an Entomb. Okay, so 4 cards in hand. It's gonna be 5 in a little bit. Have to Force of Will an animation now, and I guess we'll see what happens. So at least it's animate dead. Do they also have Force of Will? Okay, so they daze. I mean, what's the play here? Is this turn 3? Okay, so if they have reanimate as well, they can just replay their land. And then yeah. Well, let's hope they don't. So that's countered. There's the land. Brainstorm. Okay. Okay. So I feel like they didn't have Force of Will there. So let's hope they didn't find it. I'm gonna fetch Undercity Sewers. Daze would be nice here. Frog. I think I take the frog, but we are just like kind of screwed if they ever find another animation spell. So dumping out a petal here to play around the days. Ring is in. Let's draw. Hope for Force of Will. Doomsday. Okay, I mean, I'll take Doomsday. This means we might even beat the reanimate on Traxa. Like, we'll see. They can't discard us this turn. Okay, and there is that's why they brainstormed. So now they get Atraxa. Let's see. Let's have a look at the damage here. Don't reveal force, maybe? Okay, let's have a look. They have a force. Bummer. There's no Thoughtseize from what I can tell. So we have to beat a Force of Will, basically. We have Doomsday already, so they could like go. Okay, hang on. So they chose Force of Will, Psychic Frog, Delta, and Reanimate. So no Entomb, no Sea, no Troll. Do I get to know which? Oh, that's a Thoughtseize. No Thoughtseize. No Troll. And there is the Delta that they just played. Also no Entomb. Okay. Right on. How about a Thoughtseize or a Force of Will? I guess I'll take a Brainstorm. So next turn I'm taking 4. I'm taking 11. I'll be at 4. No, I'll be at 5. Then I'll take 3 or 2. So I'll be at 3. Okay. I think I draw with Ring first here. There is the Force of Will. So what does that mean? I mean, I can go for Doomsday right now. And then they need to... Is there a way I can do that and not lose if they just sit on the Force of Will? Let's say I tap Swamp Island, cast Cabal Ritual, cast Doomsday. I have 2 mana untapped, unspent. I haven't made a land drop yet, right? I mean, that's correct, right? Yeah. So I then cast Brainstorm. That means I have 1 mana left. And then Brainstorm finds me. No, I think I'm gonna sit on this. Yeah. Let's pass here. So hopefully they can't do more damage. They already lost a Thoughtseize, right? Oh, do the cards get put underneath? Yeah, on the bottom. Okay. So they probably play like 2 Thoughtseizes. Oh, and they like what they saw. It's probably like Wasteland. Alrighty. I dropped a 5. And they pass. Okay, I think I'm gonna cast Brainstorm here. I mean, if they play Orcish Bowmasters, I think we lose no matter what. So what? I can't Thoughtseize because I'll be at 2. I'll be at 3, and that would drop me to 1. So Thoughtseize is no bueno. I guess. Let's get rid of the Cabal Ritual. We'll draw them anyways. Okay. So they have 7 cards. They could have double Force here. Let's put Doomsday on the stack. Force pitching Psychic Frog. I will do the same. Do you have second Force? Well, my Force resolved. They had a second Force. Damn. I guess I will draw with the Ring, but I know one of the cards. And, oh, that's almost good enough, but not quite. I guess it's not anyways, because I can't go drop to 1. So let's cast Brainstorm and... Yeah, alright. Off to the sideboard. So this is where I definitely normally would go all in on like being a non-Doomsday deck. But once I've lost game 1, I kind of don't like that so much. So maybe I board out the frogs and bring in Cabal, or sorry, Grafdigger's Cage, and a couple of removal spells, but then like try to be a turn 1 Doomsday deck if I can. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I wonder when they found that second Force. They could have had it all along, but yeah, like I said, I think that's probably a little bit unlikely. Yes. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes, this is what I want. That was lucky. So as long as the opponent doesn't have like double Force here, I feel very good. We still have to beat a Consign to Memory, is what I'm expecting. Opponent is on the mulligan to 6. But like, if we get to win this, then the gamble completely paid off, because they'll get to see the Exile Zone and think that we don't have any creatures in the deck. Okay, so they did have the Force, so I'm going to Force back. Alright, they didn't have another Force, so let's put an Oracle. Let's put probably like a fetch land and basic island. do we want Thoughtseize here? This is a bit of a slow pile though. But maybe like, actually maybe having the second Oracle is then better than the Thoughtseize. It doesn't cost us the life. So we can like, we can draw the Misty. And then we draw the Cavern, and then we draw Thassa. I mean, this is a really slow pile, and a braver man than myself would have made a much faster pile. But being on the play like this gives me reason to want to do this. And I think I just pass here. So what I'm almost hoping that they just go like Wasteland you. What I don't want to see is, I guess they don't have, that's the beauty of tempo these days for us. Like they don't have Delver secrets, or they don't have an aggressive one drop. If they Thoughtseize, they do, okay. Yeah, okay, now I very much regret not playing out this Petal. Thought I was all smart. Yeah, I guess like Entomb Archon is a win here. Entomb Atraxa, probably also a win. Alright. So, yeah, it is a win, because they fucking found Consign. Oh my god. Yeah. I should have just gone for the fast win. Okay. So they took Consign a Memory, Ponder, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna draw the. I think actually my only move here is to shuffle and then hope to draw one of my two Thassas and hope they don't have a Daze. Oh man. Yeah, so let's do that. So it's a 1 and 3 that I lose, and it's a 2 and 3 that I maybe lose. Okay, so there is Thassa. Let's see if they have a Daze or a Force. They probably do. No, they didn't. All right, fantastic. Never punished. Oh, whew. All right, all right, all right. So now we do the pivot. We do the full pivot. Board out of the Doomsday package altogether. I know I said I wanted to keep in Thassas before, but I don't think it's necessary when you're not up against like a grindy Uro deck like we were. 2 more cuts. It's going to be a Petal at least. And then I don't know. Maybe a Ring. Maybe Ring is a little bit too callous here, but I don't know. Could also have been Consider, but I am a little bit worried about my blue count. Oh no. It's mulligan. Let's keep. Bottom the... I guess the Force of Will. I want 2 of those. Okay. There is Underground Sea. I think I need to cast Ponder here rather than like Thoughtseize. This obviously plays right into Daze. Okay, that was good though. If we get another turn, that was good. If they go Entomb into Atraxa, I'm gonna be sad. That didn't happen. Wasteland, okay. That's a sad state of affairs. Next card down is a Brainstorm, I believe, but I already have one of those. Okay, I'm gonna hope they don't have 2 Wastelands, and then Thoughtseize them here. No additional Wasteland. I'm gonna take Consign because I'm about to have Ring. If I spike a land and Ring gets countered, but then again, Ring is what, like Consign was what kept them from just casting Frog. Okay, and they drew Undercity Sewer. So right now we know what they have to work with. Land, no, ah, oh, damn. Land plus Ritual. Nope. Okay, let's put away, I guess, I'm gonna put ring on top of the deck with frog underneath it. And then I'm going to cast this Grafdigger's Cage. And what happened with their surveil? I didn't notice. Okay, they surveilled C into the graveyard. Okay, they play a C. And I almost want to Force of Will this. No, I'm going to let this come into play. They won't get a draw next turn because of ring, and I would rather force through the ring. Like if they have drawn a Force of Will or a Daze here. Brainstorm. Well, so we know their hand right now. I think I actually Force of Will this Brainstorm. This is super aggressive, but like they can hit Daze, or Daze Force, and this lets us like keep working with perfect information. I'll draw my frog. They can't draw a card this turn. So hopefully they just start drawing like Entombs and Reanimates right now. Okay, that's decent. It doesn't get anything back, and I can bounce it. Okay, so we get to draw a fresh card here. Yeah, attacking with frog isn't gonna matter. Do they have more sewers? Oh wait, the sewer's here. Is that still in their hand? I get kind of confused here. Okay, I'm kind of up against it though. This is a lot to battle. That is one way to do it though. I think I am going to cast a Ponder looking for another land. And I do find it. Oh, but that's also Shieldred. Oh, wow. Wow, I have so much removal, but I also really don't want to shuffle. Okay, let's, the problem is I want to cast a removal spell this turn, and that then needs to be Fatal Push, but then I don't get to make my land drop. I still think I have to do that. Okay, so let's cast that right now on the frog, and we pass. And I'm about to take 5 at minimum, but possibly more. So let's just work on that. If I take 5, I go to 9, I go to 7 from ring, then I kill second frog, then I go to, then I'm dead, I think, to the attack from the fanatic. Yeah, I might need to, so they pump that. So we'll have to see what happens here, but I think I might need to play Barrowgoyf. So we draw the Flooded Strand. And if they can deal me, if I draw with ring and then they can make frog a 4 power, then I die to that. And they can. So I think maybe I have to fetch here and then hope to find a push with my ring here, or I guess a Dark Ritual. Oh, this is certainly dicey. Yeah, like Dark Ritual letting me play Barrowgoyf here would also be really nice. There is a Dark Ritual. Okay, so if I cast Barrowgoyf here off of this Dark Ritual, then I can long goodbye the frog, And I can just do that on their turn. Okay, so they try to make the frog fly. And they attack. I'm just gonna move as though I have no blockers, and then I'm gonna, okay. I wanted to give them a chance to commit a card here, but I don't want to take 2 damage and lose the game, so. And my Goyf is a 4/5, right on. Okay, so I'm gonna drop to 2, and then if I attack with Goyf, I can get back up to 6. And then we can see about, like, putting something in front of them. What is this? Metamorphosis? Metamorphosis? Metamorphosis. Fanatic. Okay. I'm at 2. I do need Goyf to connect here. So I am going to attack. Mine's a 4/5. Theirs is a 4/4. Mine has Death Touch. Okay. This connected, so I get to mill over the cards, and I'm going to accept that. And I hit a frog, so that's nice. And let's draw some cards. And I think I just petty theft this fanatic right now. And let's see, if I fetch to 5, I cast frog. Then I'm at 5, I can't force, so I think I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put Unearth into the graveyard. That doesn't seem to have a lot of text right now. We have to be mindful of any brainstorm, of course, but this is suddenly looking kind of good. I take 4, I'm down at 2. Really would like Shieldred. Another Barrowgoyf also kind of does it here. Does the trick. Let's attack. Okay. Barrowgoyf mills 5. Can I hit a Shieldred? I can. That's nice. Okay. So the question is, do I play the Shieldred into like a daze? So if I fetch to 6, I can force down to 5, and then I untap and take that. I think I honestly just play the second Barrowgoyf. Barrowgoyf smash. They force pitching Atraxa. I think I grudgingly accept that and move on with my life. I'm gonna discard a frog and pass a turn. They they fail to find. I guess all their cards are gone. All the fetchable lands. Yeah. They concede. Hey, we got there. Wow. Cool game. Cool game. The Gambit paid off in game 2. It could very easily not have done so, but I got what I hoped for, which was turn 1 Doomsday with Force backup. Could have been Days backup. I was on the play, but still, that's a lot to ask for. But obviously, but what I mean by that is that I didn't board into the creature plan because I think you can kind of on the play make that call, and it's going to work out some amount of the time. Whereas winning two post board games when they know what's coming in game 3 with the creatures, I'm a lot less happy with. But yeah, like everything came together here. We it was a balancing act at the end here because life totals were like really low, but Ring drawing like 30, like we're down to 21 cards here. Our opponent is at 42. We've basically drawn twice the amount of cards they have. So yeah, pretty sweet. All right, off to the final round. All right, on the play for the final round. Let's see if we can make this a cool 4-1, or if it's going to be a 3-2. And we have turn 1 frog here, which I'm not going to pass up on here with Force and Days backup. Opponent found 7. They like, I'm going to fetch basic island here. It lets us yeah, play on basics, which our hand allows for. So turn 1 Psychic Frog is nothing to sneeze at. And because we have the Daze and Force, this feels pretty appealing. They force it. Hiyo, show and tell. Daze too good. And that means Frog is in. Okay, so we needn't have fetched basic, but... And they play a Surveillant and pass. I think I am going to actually play out the Underground Sea and attack here. And I think I might just discard this island. Pump the Frog. And I'm gonna pass. I don't want to risk them having like Daze in their deck. Like if they have Force plus Daze, but I'm pretty sure they don't. You never know. Another blue card. So I think I'm actually just going to attack here and pump the Frog with pitching the fetch land. And see if this, like this Delver that draws a card every turn, plus my force blue card, force blue card, and is going to be good enough. The card I'm mostly concerned with right now is probably Vexing Bauble, because that's going to be a must counter. Okay, 3 mana. This is the bingo amount of mana, but oh, what's this? Yggdrasil. When enters, exile all creatures from your graveyard, so they don't have any. Exile top 3 cards of your library, put a creature card exiled with Yggdrasil. So this activated ability where you tap 4 and this to put a creature card exiled with this into the battlefield doesn't work unless there is something. But you know what? This is the classic Magic experience of I'm not exactly sure how this is going to end up messing me up, but it probably will. So, and I can answer it at a relatively cheap cost, but I can only see how this would work if they already had like creatures in the graveyard. But maybe they have a way to like blink this or something at a later point. Okay. We draw another land. I'm happy to discard that. Just turn up the heat here. Frog totally and utterly taking this game away from our opponent. We draw Cavern of Souls. That could also get sacrificed on the pyre of Ribbit. They're at 8. It's 2-turn clock. I have lethal. Yes, tap out the One Ring, Force of Will, and you're dead on the backswing. Sweet. Turn 1 Frog, and this was just the type of deck we would want turn 1 Frog against. But also, to be fair, it's the type of deck where like Force plus Daze in the opening hand is pretty good. So I want Emrakul. Maybe. I mean, that's a bit cheeky, but if they go Show and Tell and it's a pass the turn and I happen to have Emrakul, maybe it's not good enough. But, I mean, I want Sholdred. I don't think that I want a lot else, if anything. I think I cut Consider and LED. And then what? Do I want a single Emrakul? Well, if that's the case, I'm going to bring in Sheldog Isle as well, instead of, I guess, one of the Underground Seas. I don't know. This, I think I'm like talking myself into bad mulligan decisions here, but my reasoning for also bringing in Sheldog is that they're not a Wasteland deck. It might just be that we end up in a situation where we have like, I don't know, Dark Ritual, Doomsday, and Sheldog Isle in our hand. And in that case, I think I like Sheldog Isle more, like an Emrakul more than just the Cavern of Souls. Okay. I'm gonna keep this. We actually have the Emrakul. That's funny. But we also have double force. I think I have to Force of Will if they put Show and Tell on the stack. But I almost feel like I can't with this being what it is. But like if they were to Show and Tell in like Omniscience, and then Emrakul, then I'm super sad. This is a deck that can play Blood Moon, So I am a little bit acutely aware that I don't have a route to Basic Island right now. The One Ring, that's also pretty nice. Okay, so we're kind of hoping that this brainstorm comes up trumps for us. Well, is it go time? Oh boy. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself if this goes wrong. I'm gonna do it. Let it resolve. Don't have omniscience. Yeah, sneak attack. See a sucker. Unless they have spirit guide, of course. Don't have spirit guide. Please don't have spirit guide. Like I can counter a Lotus Petal, but I can't counter a spirit guide. Yeah, I bet you didn't expect the old Emrakul. Yeah, we got there. Yay. All right, 4-1. I like that. Yeah, the loss of the Mystic Forge combo deck was unfortunate, but then I think we got fortunate in some other spots. That's how Magic works. I think the deck hums pretty well. It's funny, up until the last round, I was a little bit like, okay, I mean, how much is Frog really doing for me? It did perform, if I recall correctly, versus the Frog Reanimator deck, but I can't remember exactly. The maybe it didn't really because it was like Barrow Goyfs when I won that kind of pulled through. But I think Frog did. Yeah, Frog did do like we drew a lot of cards with Frog. What am I thinking about? But then like you saw it on like the final round versus the other combo deck when you like pedal it out and it's completely unbeatable. It felt like it was drawing so many cards. Um, and yeah, that Emrakul is going to be on my highlight reel. Oh, funny. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, I think this deck or any sort of I guess variation of it is a very fine place to be at for if you're going to Eternal Weekend, if you're happy to play Doomsday. I would consider cutting the Unearth. We played it once here, but it didn't really, I think, end up mattering. But okay, so yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're doing good out there. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, go ahead and like and subscribe. All the, the YouTube shenanigans, and I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.